What men over 40 must know about dating younger women, psychology tricks. A man's real power is the calm he carries inside him, not the attention he gets from anyone else. So, you're not 25 anymore. You're in your 40, 50, maybe you're 60. You've worked, you've built, you've lost, you've loved. You've probably buried a few dreams and survived a few heartbreaks along the way. You're not a rookie in life, you're a veteran. And then she shows up. She's younger, bright eyes, playful energy, a bit wild around the edges. There's a spark in her that reminds you of a time when everything felt new. But here's what really gets you: she actually seems interested in you. Not just polite small talk. She gives you real attention, holds eye contact, laughs at your jokes, asks questions, shows curiosity, and suddenly, something inside you switches back on. You feel alive again, desired again. It's exciting, almost intoxicating. You feel that old rush you haven't felt in years. Your ego wakes up and whispers, "You've still got it." This is exactly where most men start to slip. Because when an older man becomes captivated by a younger woman, a subtle psychological shift often happens. He forgets who he already is. He disconnects from his own value. He stops seeing himself as the man who's lived, learned, and earned his stripes, and starts seeing himself as someone who needs to prove he's worthy of her. He starts to bend. He tones himself down, tries to be more fun, more cool, more easygoing, even when it clashes with who he really is. He shrinks his world to fit into hers. He puts her on a pedestal and quietly steps off his own. In that moment, the entire dynamic flips. She no longer feels the presence of a grounded man. She feels the energy of a guy chasing her, performing for her, trying to win her over. And once that happens, the attraction she initially felt starts to disappear. The king turns himself into a court jester, and she responds accordingly. This isn't about blaming women or shaming you. This is about clarity. It's about protecting something far more valuable than a fling with a younger woman: your masculinity, your dignity, your self-respect. Because what we're really talking about here isn't just dating strategy, it's life strategy. If you've ever walked away from a younger woman feeling confused, emotionally spun around, or like you somehow lost yourself in the process, especially to someone who hasn't lived even half the life you have, consider this your wake-up call. Stay with me, because by the end of this, you'll understand exactly where men over 40 tend to fall and how you can rise by doing less, not more. Now, let's begin. 1. Rule 1. Don't try to be her age. When you're a man over 40 stepping into the world of dating younger women, Rule 1 is simple and non-negotiable. Don't try to be her age. You must resist the urge to shrink yourself into her world, because the moment you start mirroring her slang, wearing her fashion, nodding along to TikTok trends you don't even understand, you stop being a man and start being an imitation. And nothing kills masculine energy faster than imitation. Don't trade your years of experience for a costume of youth. That is a losing game. You don't need to compete with her. She already has her age. What she wants is your high-value man presence, the stillness that comes from surviving storms she's never even imagined. Be grounded. Be calm. Be seasoned. That contrast is what makes you magnetic. Younger women sense authenticity like a sixth sense. They may not always call it out, but they can read it instantly in your tone, your posture, your eyes. Fake confidence is loud. Real confidence is quiet, precise, and unshakable. You must understand that your age is not a handicap, it's leverage. Stop thinking you need to be relatable. Start being undeniable. That means letting your masculine energy speak louder than any meme or trend ever could. If she mentions some influencer who gives the best relationship advice, don't scramble to pretend you've heard of them. Don't pull out your phone trying to prove you're up to date. Lean back. Own your space. Tell her calmly, "I prefer conversations that don't disappear in 24 hours." That one line carries more attraction than 1,000 borrowed slang words. Why? Because you're not chasing her vibe, you're holding your frame. And a man who holds his frame is a man who attracts women effortlessly. Don't chase cool. Be solid. Be timeless. That is what younger women secretly crave: a sense of direction, a sense of depth, a sense that life has carved wisdom into you. You've lived. You've failed. You've climbed out of holes most people wouldn't survive. Don't hide that, use it. That's the essence of a high value man, and that's what brings real masculine energy into the room. Younger guys may have youth, but they rarely have poise. You do. The worst thing you can do is throw it away by acting like a mimic. Don't be the man desperately adapting to every trend just to keep up. Be the man who moves slower, speaks clearer, and thinks deeper. Be the man who listens more than he performs and speaks only when something worth saying arises. That is what sparks curiosity. That is what creates mystery. And mystery is what attracts women, especially younger women who live in a world of constant noise. You must embody contrast, stillness in a loud world, decisiveness in a hesitant one. Stop trying to be her equal. Be her reference point. Be the anchor in the storm, the eye of the hurricane. Remember, trends expire overnight, but presence is timeless. Don't apologize for being older, let it be your signature. If you carry your age with strength, she won't see you as someone trying to fit in. She'll see you as someone she wants to follow. That is the power of masculine energy, and when you own it unapologetically, youth becomes drawn to it naturally. Don't try to be her age. Be her difference. Be her contrast. Be the man in a world full of boys, because once she feels that, age stops mattering and attraction becomes inevitable. Rule 2. Don't be her emotional sponge. This one walks in quietly, like a soft song at 2 a.m., and before you know it, you've become her late-night hotline. It usually starts with a confession, her toxic ex, her anxiety, her father who was never around, the pressure she feels trying to find herself. And you, being older, wiser, emotionally grounded, do what feels noble. You listen. You empathize. You think this must be one of those subtle psychology tricks, maybe even how to fall in love moments where she sees something in you other guys don't have. But here's the hard truth wrapped in velvet. You're not building attraction. You're becoming her therapist. You're not building romantic bonding. You're becoming her emotional recycling bin. That is female psychology in action, and if you don't understand it, you'll drown in it. Women, especially younger ones, aren't always seeking solutions. They often seek space to unload, to release pressure. But you must see the difference. You're not her safe place. You're her safety net. That's not love. That's convenience. You think being the only one who understands her will make her choose you. But female psychology works differently. She'll lean on you when she's low, then disappear when she's high. She'll cry on your shoulder when she's lonely, then vanish once the sun rises. Don't let vulnerability trick you into thinking it's intimacy. That is one of the oldest psychology tricks in the book, mistaking emotional access for romantic desire. Here's what too many men over 40 don't realize. When you keep catching her emotional storms, you stop being exciting and start being useful. And useful does not equal desirable. That's not how to fall in love. That's how to end up in the friend zone with a sympathetic smile on your face and a phone full of her problems. Women don't fall for men who absorb chaos. They fall for men who remain calm next to chaos. A stoic man doesn't jump into the fire just to feel important. He doesn't rush to fix what isn't his to fix. He protects his peace like a kingdom. You must stop being her emotional sponge and start being her emotional contrast. Be present, but don't be pulled. Listen, but don't drown. Care, but don't carry. That is the line. That is the frame. That is understanding female psychology without losing your masculine center. And that's one of the most powerful psychology tricks there is. Picture this. She calls you again, voice shaky, emotions swirling, telling you how everything is falling apart. The old you would rush in, what happened? Are you okay? Let me help. But the stoic you, the you that understands how to fall in love without begging for it, speaks differently. You simply say, that sounds like a lot. I hope you give yourself space to figure it out. Boom. One sentence. One boundary. One shift in energy. You're present, but untouchable. Available, but not collapsible. She feels your calm, and it unsettles her in the best way possible. Because here's the paradox of attraction. When she can't pull you in, she starts leaning toward you. Your emotional stability becomes mysterious. Your boundaries become alluring. Your silence becomes sacred. And she'll wonder, why can't I get this man to react? Why doesn't he try to save me? Why is his peace stronger than my chaos? That is how curiosity turns into attraction. That is female psychology at work. And that is how to fall in love the right way, not by saving her, but by standing firm. So don't be her emotional sponge. Be her emotional mirror. Be calm, be steady, be kind, but never be consumed. Your peace must be your standard. You are not her therapist. You are not her reset button. You are the man she respects or the man she drains. Choose wisely. Because the moment she realizes she can't use you, she may finally start to see you. If this message hit home, step up and say it loud in the comments. I protect my peace because my peace is power. Like this video, subscribe for more unshakable wisdom, and remember, don't absorb her storm. Be the calm she can't control. Rule 3. Don't chase her validation. This is the moment a man either rises or collapses. This is where Old Stoic wisdom, Stoicism win, and the iron mind are truly tested. Men over 40 must understand one thing about dating younger women. The moment you seek her validation, she stops seeing a man and starts seeing a performer. And performers get applause, not respect. Don't chase her attention. Don't bend your truth to keep the conversation alive. Don't soften your principles just to appear agreeable. That is weakness disguised as kindness. Marcus Aurelius warned us, waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. Modern life throws distractions at you every minute, yet the essence of attraction remains ancient: strength, stability, presence. A younger woman might test you, delay replies, flirt with another man, ignore your messages, not because she hates you, but because she wants to know if you will break. And most men do break. They text twice. They wait longer. They compliment more than necessary. They laugh at jokes that aren't funny. They trade honesty for validation. They forget who they are. When you do that, you betray the old Stoic wisdom that built empires. A man must lead, not please. You must stand like a mountain. Don't orbit her emotions like a moon hoping for gravity. If she senses neediness, attraction dies instantly. Young women don't respect the man who chases, they respect the man who chooses. That is the iron mind. That is Stoicism win. As Epictetus said, no person is free who is not master of themselves. You must master yourself before you attempt to master dating. Don't try to impress her, instead, impress your future self. Don't pause your life to wait for her reply. Build your empire while she decides if she is worthy of entering it. If she takes 6 hours to respond, take 12 hours to improve your life. Hit the gym. Build your business. Read. Create. Move with purpose. Don't send a just checking in text. Don't post a story hoping she sees it. Don't try to resurrect a dead conversation. When she sees that silence doesn't weaken you, that is power. When she knows that your time is valuable, that is dominance. When she realizes your life is bigger than her, that is attractive. As Nietzsche said, the man of knowledge must be able not only to love his enemies, but also to hate his friends. Meaning, don't fear losing her. Fear losing yourself. The world respects the focus. Women follow the disciplined. Life rewards the man who acts, not reacts. Keep repeating this truth from many angles until it's burned into your spine. You must not chase. You must not seek. You must not perform. You must be. Let your silence speak. Let your routine show your worth. Let your actions display strength. Modern dating is full of noise, but Stoicism cuts through noise like steel. Don't chase her validation. Demand your own. Don't drown in her attention. Grow your presence. Live with an iron mind. Speak with decisiveness. Walk with purpose. That is attraction. That is control. That is how men over 40 win, through Old Stoic wisdom, through Stoicism win, through the iron mind. Stand firm, lead boldly, and let the world catch up to you. Rule 4. Don't try to impress her. Lead instead. Rule 4 is simple, but dangerous if misunderstood. Don't try to impress her. Lead instead. Let that sink in for a moment. Because the moment you start trying to impress her, You shift out of your masculine energy and into performance mode, and nothing makes a younger woman lose interest faster than sensing that you're dancing for approval instead of standing firm in who you are. When a man over 40 forgets this, he isn't just making a small mistake. He's abandoning his high value man posture and stepping off the throne of his own life. That is the real problem. Modern dating constantly whispers the wrong instructions. Buy her something expensive, text her just right, look cooler than you actually are, change your tone to sound younger, and before you know it, you're exhausted, confused, rejected, and wondering why effort never equals attraction. You ask, what can I do to make her like me? Don't. That is the wrong question. The real question is, am I leading with strength or begging for validation? Because when a younger woman senses that your actions are based on her reactions, not your direction, she instantly knows you are not the man in control. You must understand this. Trying to impress her is not just useless, it is destructive. The second you switch from leading to performing, you give up your masculine role and hand her the power to judge you. You become the contestant. She becomes the critic. Now you're no longer the frame, you're asking her to define it. And whether she knows it consciously or not, she can feel that energy. That new shirt you bought just for her, that restaurant you Googled so she'd say, wow, that carefully crafted text you edited 5 times before hitting send. She senses all of it. And your energy says, I hope this works. Hope is not attractive. Confidence is. Masculine energy is. Being a high-value man means you don't audition, you lead. But don't twist this. Leadership isn't domination, arrogance, or control. Don't bark orders. Don't flex. Don't boast. That's just ego playing dress up. True leadership is calm direction, unshakable presence, and consistent stability. And for a younger woman raised on digital chaos and emotionally unstable men, a steady and grounded man doesn't just intrigue her, he creates contrast. That is the secret. That contrast attracts women more than expensive gifts ever will. So, how do you act? She asks, where do you want to go? Don't say, whatever you want, I don't care. That is the voice of a man afraid to take the lead. Instead, you say, let's do this, it'll be good, because you decide your path, with or without her. That is masculine energy in motion. Most older men spend first dates trying to impress, talking about their job, money, travels, investments. But you sit calm, grounded, and unbothered. You don't talk to win, you talk to connect. You ask about her values. You let silence breathe. You don't rush to fill the space. You don't flinch. And slowly, she leans in. Not because you dazzled her, but because you anchored her. That is the power of a high-value man who understands that to attract women, you must not chase them. Epictetus said, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. Translation: don't please the crowd, stand in principle. You don't need to be impressive. You must be real. Leadership isn't loud. It's steady. It's unmistakable. The man who leads may not get everyone's attention, but the right woman, the younger woman who truly feels your masculine energy, will never forget you. So don't try. Be. Don't chase. Lead. That is how a man over 40 becomes timeless. If this hits home, like the video, share it with a man who needs this truth, and don't just watch, participate. Comment to remember. Don't impress. Lead with presence. Rule 5. Don't project long-term fantasies. She's captivating, youthful, magnetic, and yes, she's showing interest. Your pulse jumps, your imagination sprints, and suddenly you're already somewhere in the future, watching her laugh at dinner with your friends, sitting beachside on a vacation you haven't booked, maybe even picturing her in white, walking down an aisle that only exists in your head. That is where the danger begins. Because the moment your mind starts building a future too fast, you stop seeing the present. You stop noticing who she really is. You must understand this. Men don't fall in love with women. They fall in love with their own assumptions. And assumptions are the most dangerous of all psychology tricks. They blur what's real. They protect your fantasy while hiding the truth. You stop seeing red flags. You start justifying misalignment. You explain away her behavior instead of evaluating it. That is how emotional blindness begins. You think you're practicing how to fall in love, but really, you're just rehearsing disappointment. Don't mistake attraction for destiny. Attraction is easy. Compatibility is tested. Female psychology plays a quiet game. If she senses you're already emotionally invested in a future she never asked for, she doesn't feel seen. She feels pressured. You must understand female psychology. She doesn't want to be your forever on date two. She wants to be understood in the moment. Don't rush. Don't assume. Don't leap ahead. Because the faster you project, the faster she suffocates. You think you're expressing interest, but you're actually sending a message. I've already decided who you are, even though you barely know her. That is not romance. That is psychological projection disguised as passion. When you think too far ahead, you stop collecting data. Dating is not fantasy building. It's data collection, the oldest and truest of psychology tricks hidden in plain sight. You're not here to plan the future. You're here to observe patterns, evaluate consistency, study her reactions, and understand the energy beneath her words. That is how to fall in love wisely, not blindly. Listen to this story. Dean, 52, successful, driven, smart, met a 26-year-old who lit up every room. She was wild, spontaneous, addictive, the kind of energy that makes logic vanish. Within 2 weeks, Dean was telling friends, I think she might be the one. He cleared his schedule, skipped business trips, reorganized his life. He thought he was acting out of love, but he was actually negotiating with a fantasy. She ghosted. She flaked. She showed inconsistencies everywhere. Yet Dean ignored all of it because he wasn't seeing her. He was seeing the story he had already written in his head. 3 months in, she disappeared without a word. And Dean was devastated, but not because of what he lost. He was grieving what he imagined. A classic case of misunderstanding female psychology and ignoring the real psychology tricks at play. Dean wasn't heartbroken by a woman. He was heartbroken by his own illusion. The lesson is brutal but essential. Don't project, observe. You must respect patterns more than potential. You must watch how she handles conflict, mistakes, and accountability, because that is where the character lives. That is how to fall in love the right way, with reality, not fantasy. Be the man who sees clearly. Be the man who listens more than he imagines. Don't be high on hope. Don't chase a dream. Watch her. Feel her energy. Let reality guide you. Because when her patterns don't match your values, her potential will never save the relationship. That's not just dating advice, that's emotional survival. Rule 6. Don't be her backup plan. Rule 6 is simple but brutal. Don't ever be her backup plan. Don't be the guy she calls when she's bored, lonely, or temporarily forgotten by the man she actually wants. Modern dating, especially when a man over 40 steps into the arena with younger women, is a psychological game, and you must enter it with Old Stoic wisdom, an iron mind, and absolute clarity. There's a stark difference between being chosen and being convenient. Never confuse her attention with her investment. You think she needs time. You think she's sorting out her feelings. You tell yourself to be patient. But patience without direction becomes passivity, and passivity breeds disappointment. Marcus Aurelius said, your worth consists in what you are and not in what you have. That includes your time, your energy, and your presence. If she keeps you around but never steps forward with real intention, you must walk away with Stoicism when written across your back like armor. Don't wait. Don't wonder. Don't hope she changes. Make the decision before she does. Because when a woman sees you as her emotional cushion, you've already surrendered power, and once power slips, attraction follows it out the door. Look at Paul, 47. Met a 26-year-old full of charm and light. Laughter, chemistry, late-night talks, but no commitment. She floated, vanished, reappeared with tears, stories, and other men. Paul answered every time. He thought, if I prove I'm steady, she'll choose me. That's not how real desire works. She saw dependability, but not dominance. Reliability, but not leadership. She said, you're like my safe place, and that sentence cut deeper than rejection, because it revealed the truth. He wasn't her love. He was her soft landing zone. That is the moment a real man must awaken. Don't be the pillow she falls on. Be the standard she reaches for. Paul disappeared. Months later, she returned. But now he was different, calmer, sharper, grounded by old Stoic wisdom and an iron mind. He didn't listen to her spirals, didn't rush to comfort. He was no longer the backup plan. He was the benchmark. And suddenly, he became desirable. Why? Because only when a man controls his availability does he control his value. Seneca said, "He who is brave is free." Freedom from validation, freedom from waiting, freedom from chasing. That is real masculine energy. Modern life tries to blur this line. Social media teaches women they can keep infinite attention on standby. Dating apps make men disposable. But you must not play that role. You must stand in a position of power. You must show through action, not argument, that your time is earned, not taken for granted. Don't argue for respect. Demonstrate it. Don't beg for commitment. Set the terms. Don't linger in hope. Lead with intention. In your 40s and beyond, you carry an advantage younger men don't: clarity. You've seen life. You've felt loss. You understand silence often speaks louder than any confession. Use it. Let absence teach her what presence once offered. Let scarcity build value. Let distance create desire. This is not manipulation, it's discipline. It's Stoicism when applied to modern romance. Self-respect knows no compromise, said Napoleon Bonaparte. Remember that. Let those words burn into your thinking. In this world of noise and endless scrolling, the man who chooses selectively becomes the man who is truly seen. So repeat this until it becomes instinct. Don't be her backup choice. Don't be her safety net. Don't settle for comfort when you are meant to be conquered. Hold the line. Stand firm. Become the standard. And through old Stoic wisdom, Stoicism win, and an iron mind, master not just dating, but life itself. If this message hit you, then you're already close to waking up. Because real strength begins the moment you refuse to be anyone's backup plan. Comment below to take your stand. I choose to be the standard, not the safety net. Rule 7. Never lose your mission for her. Rule 7 is the silent battlefield where many strong men fall. Never lose your mission for her. Don't confuse excitement with surrender. Don't trade discipline for dopamine. That is the moment when even a high-value man begins to fade. Not when she ignores you, not when she tests you, but when you start feeling something real and you let your guard down. You must understand, a woman, especially a younger one, doesn't destroy your power, you give it up piece by piece. First, you skip the gym. Then you delay that business call. Your schedule starts bending like warm metal, and suddenly you're texting more than you're creating. You stop leading and start orbiting. And it feels lovely, even romantic. It feels like devotion. But don't be fooled. What you're really doing is trading your edge for access. You're stepping off your mission and stepping onto her emotional roller coaster. That is when your masculine energy weakens. That is when a high-value man becomes forgettable, because women don't truly attract women by chasing them. They attract women by chasing purpose. Remember this. You must become the gravity, not the satellite. She doesn't want to be your purpose. She wants to witness it. Because masculinity isn't loud, it's directional. When your direction gets blurry, your presence disappears. Be the man she respects, not the man she manages. Picture Jordan, 45, CEO, self-made, a true high-value man until he met a 26-year-old artist. Brilliant, playful, intoxicating. He felt alive. So he started bending, canceled trips, shifted mornings to match her sleep schedule, postponed investments because they were getting serious. Outwardly, it looked romantic. Inwardly, he was drifting. His masculine energy dimmed. And she felt it not in words, but in silence. She started to pull away. Then one day, gone. Not because he failed, but because he forgot what made him attract women in the first place. He lost his mission, so he lost his magnetism. That is how attraction dies, not with fireworks, but with slow neglect. Don't let that be you. Don't lose your fire for comfort. Don't seek affection at the cost of self-respect. You must stay on the path, Wake up early, build your empire, train like a warrior, speak your truth even if it rattles her. Let her feel the gravity of a man who doesn't bend for validation. Be the one who invites her into his world, not the one who abandons his world for her. Because a high-value man with unwavering masculine energy will always attract women, not by chasing, but by leading. A man on fire never runs out of options. A man who trades his fire for comfort runs out of himself. So guard your mission like oxygen. Protect your edge like treasure. And never forget, your purpose is the throne. Love is welcome to visit, but it must never sit in your seat. Rule 8. Be the rock, not the puppet. Rule 8 is simple, but it separates men from boys. Be the rock, not the puppet. Don't crumble when she tests you. Don't chase when she pulls away. Don't dance for her mood swings. That is female psychology in motion. She isn't trying to hurt you. She's trying to see you. Women, especially younger ones, don't test to punish. They test to measure. They want to know, is this man steady, or does he fold like cheap paper when emotions rise? This isn't cruelty. It's instinct, a deep psychology trick built into attraction. And if you understand how to fall in love from a woman's perspective, you'll realize she needs one thing above all: solidity. Not perfection, solidity. Men over 40 often make one fatal mistake. They confuse love with obedience. They think giving earns affection. They think adjusting their identity earns approval. Wrong. Don't bend for validation. Don't rush to fix every emotional dip. Be still. Be solid. That is what makes her feel safe. Even when she says you're too stoic, too cold, too unreadable, she doesn't mean change. She means stay steady. Because even when she storms, she still wants your frame to hold. That's female psychology at its core. She might push, but secretly she prays you won't fall. When you stay grounded, she feels gravity. And women always return to gravity. Look at Drew, mid-50, sharp, recently divorced. He started dating a 25-year-old. The chemistry was strong until the tests arrived. She flirted with other men in front of him. She teased his clothes. She said, "You'd be hotter if you dressed younger." The old Drew would have changed his jeans and laughed it off just to keep the peace. But not this Drew. He simply smiled and said, "That's funny. I like the way I move." No flinch. No defense. No justification. He stood his ground, calm as stone. 2 days later, who texted first? She did. Why? Because she finally saw him. She realized, this man won't dance for me. He stands for himself. That is how attraction truly works. Not through submission, but through composure. That is a masterclass in psychology tricks, in understanding how to fall in love the way women do. Female psychology doesn't reward the man she can manipulate. It trusts the man she cannot move without reason. You must understand, women don't fall in love with the puppet. They fall in love with the rock. Don't react, respond. Don't prove, stand. Don't beg, lead. Be stoic, not stiff. Be composed, not distant. Be warm, but not bendable. That is how you pass every test without even trying. Women don't trust men they can control. They trust men who live by principle. So be the man she can lean on, not the man she can lead. Be the storm calmer, the frame holder, the presence that doesn't shake. When you master female psychology and its hidden psychology tricks, you don't chase love, you show her how to fall in love. And you do it without moving an inch. Rule 9. Stop buying her time. Start commanding it. Rule 9 is brutal but necessary. Stop buying her time. Start commanding it. Don't beg. Don't bribe. Don't negotiate. Command. That is the mindset. That is the iron mind. Many men over 40 still cling to the old lie. If I give enough money, attention, gifts, or support, then she'll stay. But that is not attraction. That is desperation disguised as generosity. A younger woman doesn't want a sponsor. She wants a signal. In modern life, she's surrounded by endless attention, likes, comments, texts, and compliments. She's not starving for validation. She's drowning in it. What she craves and rarely finds is strength, direction, self-respect, A man who lives by old Stoic wisdom and displays Stoicism through action, not pleading. Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one, said Marcus Aurelius, and that quote must pierce through you. Don't try to prove your worth, embody it. Let your presence speak louder than your words. You must show, subtly but clearly, that your time, energy, and attention are limited and not for sale. A man with an iron mind doesn't chase, doesn't perform, doesn't panic when she delays her reply. He operates from abundance, not anxiety. He leads. He sets the tone. That is power in modern dating, calm direction in a world of frantic noise. Don't overinvest in texts. Don't overshare emotionally. Don't overbook dinners trying to keep her entertained. When you overextend, you communicate one deadly message: I don't think I'm enough, I think I must earn you. The moment she senses that, she may stick around, but out of convenience, not desire. Desire follows strength. Respect follows boundaries. Let's make it clear: you don't need to impress her, you need to impress upon her what she stands to lose if she fumbles. That is leadership. That is Stoicism win. Look at modern dating. Everyone is selling their attention cheap, scrolling endlessly, calling every woman queen, begging for a shot. Don't be one of them. Don't buy her attention. Command it by living a life worth joining. Build your mission. Stay disciplined. Use Old Stoic wisdom as your compass. Be selective. Be unpredictable. Be busy with purpose. If she tests you, smile and hold firm. If she delays, stay focused on your goals. If she grows distant, let her feel the distance. The pursuit must reverse. Like Dan, age 50, who didn't chase the 27-year-old who tried every trick to shake his frame. He stayed poised, silent when she delayed, present when it mattered, unavailable to nonsense. Eventually, she chased him not because he gave more, but because he gave less with intention. That is the iron mind at work. That is how Stoicism win looks in real life. You must build gravity, not pressure. You must become a man whose time is earned, not purchased. Don't wait for approval. Don't explain your value. Don't compete for attention. Let your life be the standard. Stand firm. Lead forward. Be the man she must rise to meet. That is victory. That is mastery. That is how men over 40 win in the modern world. Rule 10. Let her earn your depth. Rule 10 is simple but powerful. Let her earn your depth. You've walked through storms, rebuilt after heartbreak, and learned how to stand again when the world tried to knock you down. That is the mark of a high-value man. You carry masculine energy shaped by time, pain, and perseverance, wisdom forged in fire. Younger men may have charm or youthful confidence, but they rarely possess what you've cultivated: quiet strength, emotional clarity, scars disguised as calm, and silence that carries meaning. Don't throw that away. Don't hand out your inner world like it's a discount coupon. That depth is not entertainment, it's sacred. Too many older men meet an attractive younger woman and immediately start unpacking their past like it's some kind of emotional resume. They pour out stories, heartbreaks, regrets, and philosophies, thinking, this will prove I'm different. This will make her see my soul. But hear this: vulnerability without qualification isn't connection, it's exposure. And exposure doesn't always attract women. Sometimes it overwhelms them, sometimes it makes them pull away, and sometimes it simply bores them. Real emotional gravity doesn't always attract women, it challenges them. It's heavy, it's intense. You must remember, not everyone is ready for your truth. Being a high-value man means knowing when to open your heart and when to keep your emotional vault locked. Don't mistake curiosity for readiness. Don't reveal depth where there is no maturity. Just because she asks deep questions does not mean she's ready for deep answers. Be smart. Be disciplined. A wise man doesn't rush to be understood. He waits to see who has the strength to understand him. That is masculine energy. Let her earn the layers. Let her show consistency, stability, and emotional stamina. Let her prove she can hold your truth before you offer it. A woman who truly wants to attract women of quality will respect boundaries, not push them. Look at Mark 53. Divorced, experienced, calm. He met a 29-year-old artist, beautiful, passionate, curious. Right away, she asked about heartbreak, soulmates, tears. She wanted to go deep fast. But Mark? He didn't dive in. He didn't spill his past like water on the floor. He redirected. He smiled. He asked her questions. How do you handle pressure? What do you do when someone challenges your opinion? What happens when you don't get your way? He didn't hand her a story. He held up a mirror. That's how a high-value man operates. That is how masculine energy tests reality. Weeks passed. She showed maturity. She showed steadiness. Then and only then did he open up. And when his truth finally came out, it landed because it was earned. You must protect your soul like a kingdom and only open the gates when someone proves they can stand inside it. Don't rush depth. Don't leak your soul. Be deliberate. Be selective. When you finally share your heart, let it mean something. You don't give away your light like a cheap lamp in a hallway. You let her step toward it, one test at a time. That is how you attract women who value who you truly are. That is how a high-value man moves. That is masculine energy in action. And there we have it, brother. Thanks for staying until the end, truly. It means you're not just listening, you're ready to grow. Here's the truth. Dating younger women isn't about tricks or tactics. It's about who you are when the room goes quiet. Your value isn't in performance, it's in presence. From puppet to pillar, that's the journey. So remember this. Lead with calm. Move with direction. Protect your emotional depth like it's sacred. Be steady, not loud. Be unshakable, not flashy. When you stop trying to impress her, you become the experience she never saw coming. If that message hits home, comment below, I lead from center. Because the moment you choose to live from your truth, you step into rare territory, and most men never get there. Subscribe to The Manipulated Mind, not just for dating advice, but for mindset mastery, emotional intelligence, and real masculine clarity. And if you want to go deeper with exclusive content, tactical Stoic breakdowns, and a brotherhood of disciplined men, join the Manipulated Mind community today. Because in the end, it's not about chasing her. It's about building you. And that's the kind of man the world and she will never forget. Thanks for watching, stay grounded, and I'll see you in the next one.